Hi, welcome back. Before we get started, go ahead and grab today's survival snacks, maybe some cosmic coffee and a handful of dehydrated space chips. You're going to need them, because we have an update to talk about.
We actually have a new engine now. So we bring it out here.
The long-requested vanilla bed is finally here, and farming just got easier too. Bubba also picked up the new DLC, so we'll check out some of the new blocks along the way. We'll also swing through the mess hall for the latest updates. Then it's time for the main event. Building the new truck cab for the Forge. Get comfortable, sip your cosmic coffee, and let's jump into episode 5.
Hello everybody, welcome back. So, just got another update. Wasn't a big one, but we're gonna go through some of the stuff in the update that we can. So it kind of came out of nowhere. Not a lot of people knew it was dropping when it actually dropped. We knew it was coming, but we just didn't know when. So we'll go ahead and go through some of the things that are in the new update that we can actually see and get to. A lot of it has to do with these farm plots here. And then we'll go ahead and go through some of the stuff that I've changed since the last episode. As you can see, we actually got a vent with some smoke coming out here. So we had to kind of refill up on our meat. So as I was waiting for the wolves to come in so I could take care of that, I was working on the little restaurant slash mess hall down below. So we'll go through all that. But first, let's go ahead and look into what's changed with the farm plots here. Alright, so you can tell these are empty. We can still get into them like we did before. Water level is high. I did make an ice run because we did run out of ice. So all we're going to have to do to fill these up, because before we would have to click on them, go on here, and hit plant, and then pick what we need to plant. And again, we need to have them on us. So we have the seeds on us now. These are the two seeds that we're going to do. We're going to do mushrooms and vegetables. I've been growing our vegetable seeds up and our vegetable produce up. So we are getting that to be one of our major things that we're going to grow here. So let's go ahead and move over to this toolbar. So I have a toolbar here set up just for farming. This is my extra toolbar that has like the paint gun and another gun. So now all we have to do is put whatever seeds that we need up. So we'll hit 7. So now all we have to do is come up to it, left click it, and they'll automatically plant it. That'll make farming a whole lot quicker coming through here. And then we'll hit 6 to get our mushrooms. We'll plant them over here. Then we'll just wait for them to grow up. It's going to be one click also to harvest them. So all we would have to do is make sure there's nothing in our hands. And then we just come up to it and left click on them and they'll harvest it. Another great thing is if, let's say these aren't ready to harvest because of the growth process. If you come up to it and click on it, it won't harvest it. It'll automatically bring up your information. So if you're trying to figure out if these are ready or not, you can either hit F to bring them up, or you can left click on them. If they're ready to be harvested, you'll automatically harvest them. If not, then they'll bring up this screen. So that's going to definitely help with farming. We could always add an automated harvester. That would kind of save us on our water so we don't forget about harvesting the plants, and once they're ready, they get picked up. But I'm not that too far interested in that right now. I think just keep coming up here, making sure that our ice is good. We might set up an alarm so when we run low on ice that we would have to know to fill it up. But I'm also not going to be planting a lot of the stuff. And then we have a few more new blocks. I did get the DLC because I still, no matter, you don't get a lot of blocks with this update. Again, it kind of came out of nowhere. We're just glad that we did get some blocks. One of the main blocks that you get is a bed. So now you can have a vanilla bed without any DLCs straight out the bat. So that's one of the major things that's good, because the bed acts like a cryopod. So if you're on a server or if you lay down in the bed, it won't actually make you hungry. Your food and all your other stats will not go down. So that's the advantage of the bed, especially if you're playing on servers. So you're going to need that, because the bed will be a whole lot easier and quicker to build than a cryopod would. And before, the only ways to get a bed would be to have the DLCs that have it in it, or to have a modded one. But now let's go ahead and show you the changes that I've made to the mess hall here real quick. First of all, if you look over here, you notice we don't have our... actually got to fix these windows too. I put the wrong ones back in. But now the food processor is not up here. So the only thing we deal with up here is our plants. So after we deal with anything we need with our plants, we come down to the steps here. You notice the steps have moved too. I need to kind of fix this part to kind of match it up, put the couches and everything in. But again, everything I'm doing here in the mess hall, this is stuff that I'm going to be doing off screen. Mostly while I'm waiting for either wolves or something like that to happen. So we'll come down the steps here. You notice we got a door here that heads outside. This is one of the new doors that we have. So it's a good opportunity to show off this block. So this is part of the DLC. You don't get this one for free. The only free block you got was the bed. So, but now we got a door. We have this in half block, we have it in full block, and we also have it where these panels are glass. Well, I'll actually show you the glass ones over there, but this is more of the back door. So we have a couple of bar tables here for our mess hall. And if you look over here, we have our kitchen. So a lot of this is going to be worked up more once we get the assembler out here moved out, get the screen moved out, and moved all these blocks back here, so we can open it up to the windows so we can see out over the valley that way. But again, this is all a work in progress. We have these vents up here. Now, we are pressurized in here, but because of the way that subgrid works, these will not actually be pressurized. So these are just more for decoration. These have no purpose at all. They could probably suck in air into the system, because it is connected to the system right here, if we really wanted to do that. But I'm just putting these in here for decoration. I'm thinking of planning to move these, because right now I have them at the center of the lights. We might move them over here, and then we're going to make little beams like this, either out of these blocks. These are the scaffolding, or I might make them out of a different block, depending on how I want them to look. But that's my plan to come through here. Is we'll have the vents up in the air. These are like the air conditioning and heating vents. And then we'll have scaffolding, or some type of blocks that looks like beams holding up or on top. So I actually could sneak a half a block here on top, and that might look a little bit better. So it actually looks like it's connected closer to the roof. So that's something I can think about changing too. But again, this is all just for looks and decoration. So it just doesn't look like just a plain big open room. Then I have neon tubes going between them right now. But again, we might actually put whole bars up and then the neon tubes below. But we'll see how this finally comes out. But I think it's starting to look good. We got a stove over here. We have a vent pipe coming up from the hood range. So this is supposed to be a little hood range that sucks up all the smoke and heat and everything and pipes it outside. So now we have a little pipe. This is a small grid pipe here connected to the large grid kitchen. Here is our food processor. So now it's going to be here in the kitchen area. And then we have our little bar counters here. And then we have another counter here. This will be where like a register would be at. Again, this is probably going to wrap around this way. I plan on putting a door right here. So this right here is the spot to get out to our little miner and our rover that gets parked down there. So this is going to get pushed out to a half a block like we have it back here. So we're going to have half blocks around here. We're probably going to do the windows kind of like we did the windows here. All through the back part so we can look out. So we plan on having either a door back this way or a door for about right here that'll go out, and we're going to make a actual deck area so you can go outside and eat. So that'll give us some nice views, and of course you have the views from upstairs. So maybe you're waiting on a table, you can come upstairs, stop at the bar, grab you a drink, come upstairs and sit out in the garden and look out at the at the valley and the view that we got going on right now. Or if you just want to come up here and chill out, anything like that. So I think this is going to make a really good little mess hall area for us to grab our food. So all of our food's going to be processed in this building. And then right here we have bathrooms. So these will be the bathrooms if you need a bathroom. So these are the new glass windows that we have. So if you can see, they just put glass in where that paneling was in right here. So they just replaced that. So that'll make it good if you want to add more kind of window space to these doors. These do come in small grid also. So that's another good advantage. And like I said before, they have these half blocks and a full block. It kind of looks like the other full block door that we have. So here's the outside view of the front half, and here's this corner over here. So I think it actually looks pretty good. Again, the top part didn't change as in structural over here on this side. We did add these vents over here. Again, that's probably going to change a little bit with these windows. So that gives it a little bit more character also. And then here's the front end. I know the forge is in the way, but we're going to have good views out here, which is probably going to be the parking lot or the driveway area. And if we come across here, we have more windows. This is that back service door from the kitchen. And then if we look back here, we have an actual exhaust vent. So this is where the vent is that's inside the kitchen. This is where it would be coming out. It is not connected, but that's why we put that there. I might actually make another one and put on this side, because I plan on putting another kitchen over here. So that little bit of a detail, I think that'll make it all look really good. Since we have the food processor down here on this end, I was able to hide a sorter in here. So now it's going to pull the stuff from the algae plant. So now I don't have to physically go up there and move them. So we don't have to worry about them filling up. And we're going to get the most out of our algae farms up here. But yeah, that's everything that's changed in it so far. This side, this back hasn't changed. Again, all this is going to be moved once we start making the buildings that all that's going to be going into. But let's go ahead and work on our next project, which is going to be the truck to pull our forge here and any other trailers that we want to build. So we're going to build that out over this way. That way we can just back right in and pick it up when we're ready. So let's get that set up here. So we're going to be building this off of a landing gear here. So this is going to be the opportunity to show one of the new blocks that are in the DLC. So we have new landing gears now. So they're both in big grid and little grid. So here's the little grid one. The big one looks pretty much the same, but it's actually a little bit shorter. So if you look at the old one right here, see how big and how tall it is? This one's a block shorter, and I think it's a block smaller too. So this is actually going to look good on any ships with the landing gear, especially since you can bring them down closer. So they might actually be able to connect to a connector better. I didn't bring any materials, so let me go ahead and grab that. Alright, and the sun's going down. Should be fine. We might actually sleep once the sun gets down a little bit, but we can go ahead and get started on this. So like I said, here is the landing gear. So here's the large grid version of the new landing gear. Pretty much looks the same as the smaller one, but of course bigger. Let's go to the small one here. So we're just going to throw this down. Alright, so that's down and that's locked. So let's just go ahead and build our platform of how we're going to build this up. You notice I'm getting buffs up. I actually, when I was waiting on wolves to show up and working on that, I tried to eat some raw meat. I forgot to put up the raw meat from the wolves that I got, and I was hungry, thinking I was picking up the cooked meat, but nope. So I didn't make it up here to the survival kit in time, so I died. Actually died right here at these doors. So now I have to bring my buffs all back up, but we're not too worried about that. I should be able to bring it up here real easily, especially if we take a nap here. That's going to bring them up a little bit more too. So we're gonna start on the back end of the rover. We're gonna come up here and add a spot like this. Alright, I went ahead and lay down so we can get some light as we work onto this. So here's how we're going to build our frame. Again, we're going to be building it from the back forward. So we're going to build the axles first and actually build the hitch. And then everything else is going to be built off of that. So first we're going to put in our how we're going to do our axle frames, or what we're going to connect the axles to. So we're going to go like this. And then we're actually going to put in a rotor, advanced rotor right here. Weld these up. Going to change the displacement to a -5. So now it's pretty much lined up with where these would be. Now we're going to do the second axle. So we're going to get some temporary blocks. I'm up here. Gonna go 3 back. We're gonna do the same thing, add in what we're gonna connect our axles to. We're gonna add us another rotor here. So now we're gonna add on our hitch part. So we're gonna add one of these. This, the conveyor right here, another one there, and then we go back and add our rotor part at the end and just weld all this up, and then we just attach. Oh, we didn't set the displacement. Let's bring that back to -5. Now that should be pretty much even in the middle. So now this rotor, these rotors here will help with the roll of the trailer. So if the back end of the trailer is off a little bit, rolling like this, so that's what this rotor is meant for. We're just going to add a little bit of decoration while we have it in the air here. Put some caps on these just to kind of clean it up a little bit. And we just want to make sure we keep the actual frame of it connected right now, because if we disconnected any of these, this will roll out of the way. So we want to make sure both subgrids are connected straight, so that's why we're going to go ahead and build the frame of our trailer now. So up here first, this is where the hinge is going to sit. I want all the rotation and everything of the trailer to be all in one spot. So if you spread it out, it's going to make some of the parts not work as well. So if you put everything into one area direction, it'll work the best. Put the hinge there. And we're going to need to lock that. Then we're actually going to just put in a rotor part on top. So this is where the trailer is going to connect to the truck. So where that part's going to hitch up is going to be right here. So again, everything's right here in one central spot. It's going to make everything actually work a lot easier. So the way that we have it set now, this is not going to actually be able to roll. It could pivot back and forth, but again, it's going to lose some of that angle too. But I think we need to build more of the frame first before we try to get into this part. So we can actually put the tires on. Let's go ahead and do that. Now, just like the trailer, we're going to use 3x3 tires. And I think I'm going to go... We'll try with the regular suspensions. Alright, so now that we got our back frame part, let's go ahead and finish building the frame how we want to do this. We bring it out one more like this. And then we'll probably angle this one. That's about how far I want the back end to go. I don't want it to be much wider than the trailer. We do need to make sure we do have enough to make it wide enough.
Energy.
But We might go with the smaller suspensions. I'm just gonna weld up this part here real quick. Alright, I think that'll look better. Let's put these parts back on. Since the tires are on there, we should be able to add these now. Oh, they changed the collision again? Because used to you can add stuff through the tires, but I think with the new update they messed with the collision with the tires. It's interesting. So what I'm trying to do is make sure these connect up to this part. So if we had one of these like this, there's no connection part there on the bottom. We do it like that, there's no connection part over here. We would have to use these. That. So the suspensions actually have connection points here on the outsides. So if this gets disconnected, it's still connected right here. So if we disconnect these up here, which we actually don't need to, it would still connect everything together. We can get rid of these here in the middle. Not that one. Not that one. Now that we got the back frame up, we can start working on the front half. So let's go ahead and bring out the frame a little bit more. We want to give it enough space for the front of this because it does lean out a little bit further before we get to the cab. So I think 2 more blocks like this. And then we can have the cab back here like this. And then we probably want it up 1 more too. Give us a little bit more clearance. We don't want it to look short and stumpy, but we also don't want it too long. The smaller the truck is on the front, the easier it is to maneuver the trailer in the back. So we really need to look at what we want to use for cockpits. We can use a normal cockpit. Now this would be good is if you're in a world that you have to worry about hydrogen and oxygen. We don't have to worry about that here, especially where we are. But there are some spots on the Earth like that has bad storms that could maybe not having a fully enclosed cockpit might mess with. So we'll just go with the full cockpit. We might go with the truck ones. So if we set these up like that. Like that'll give us enough room here in the back to put whatever we want to put back here. That'll think it'll give us high enough too. We can have a front end, or we can make it actually come out further too. But we might be able to shove everything right here in this front end. So even if we bring it out a block, go down, out, down. So we know the axles should be coming in right here on these blocks. So something like that. We could always move these up 1 more if we need to, depending on how much room in the front, but I think that gives us more than enough clearance. So let's go ahead and weld all this up then. Alright, so now that we got all that welded up, we need to get power and everything on here. So one of the ways I wanted to get and run power with this is to have engines on it, but since we don't have access to gas yet, we can't put engines in it. But we can already go ahead and have it set up for engines if we want to switch it over. But right now we're going to need batteries. We don't need a lot of batteries in here. We might just put one battery right here. Now that we got battery power on the grid, we can still put an engine in here. And this is where we can come up to with one of our new blocks. So we have the old engine that looks like this. And we actually have a new engine now. So if we bring it out here. So this is the large grid new engine. This is what it looks like. And then we can switch it to the small grid. Supposedly they have a different sound to them too. But this one might actually be smaller than what... Let's bring it over here. No, it's bigger than what the old engine is. So it's about the same height, but it's one block longer. But it has a little bit more detail to it and more moving parts. So we can still... I'll probably add the new one on here. Because like the old one right here would fit pretty well. But I think the new one would fit even better. And then with those parts on the bottom with that screen. So if we put it like that. Here we go. I think that's going to bring a lot more detail, especially to the bottom of the truck now. Especially with the engine sitting down here lower. We do want the weight up here on the front. Because if that trailer is going to have a lot of weight back here, so it's going to make the front end want to pop up some, even though we have the extra tires back there. So we definitely want to make sure all this weight is up here. Again, that's where, if we wanted to, we can move the engine out further front and kind of have more weight up front of the tires. But we're going to try to go with the flat right here like this. So we still might move this up one more. And that'll make us so we can move the engine up a little bit further too. We can technically, instead of having the tires set up like this with these right here, we can have them on the engine too and move the engine up even more. So yeah, let's try that. It might give us more weight on the front. I know this battery back here, we probably should have moved it up front further too, but I think it should still help right here with bringing weight down here. So we'll just have to extend this one up one more, or we might just bring these wheels back so they're lined up with here, because I don't want this to go too much longer, because we got all this space back here we're going to have to figure out something to do with also. So let's just move the tires back, I think. Alright, I think that'll look a little bit better, especially with the detail of the engine right there. You can always change this out too from when we put the bumper on. So now back here we're actually going to need some fuel tanks to run all this. We could take off this back edge, bring it back one more. So before we cover up this would be a great place to hide the gyros and everything. We put the gyro right here in the middle. We're gonna need an antenna to put on here. Easily hide that right there. Now we can't put any we might be able to put like an oxygen tank down here too, just have it as an extra. No, because we need the top part up. So we can't hide that there. That could always be hidden right here in the middle. Probably need some like extra computers just in case. Maybe a vent controller, a programmable block. We'll hide some of that in there. Alright, so we actually put an action relay in here. We got a broadcast controller, we got our antenna, our gyro, and then I have a programmable block. So that's a nice little spot to hide all that in. So again, we can do the oxygen tank right here in the middle, or we can even do, this is where we put the hydrogen tanks. We want to put them in there, at least one of them right there. We can always hide more down here like this. So I think with the tanks like that, that's going to give more detail to the sides, I think. So now we just need to finish filling in the back here. So we're going to need a H2O2 generator. We don't have to have it, but we got the room for it, so we might as well add it in here also. It's probably all, and then maybe an oxygen tank, 1 or 2 tanks. And then that's all we really need to put in back here, so we don't need to put in a lot of detail. So let me just go ahead and finish dressing all this up, and then we'll see what we're looking at with the hitch and everything.
Make it feel right. Make it feel right. Yeah. Hello, I am the shadow that you chased along the road, and you never know if I'm showing you the way or if I joke. Hello, I am the fever that is buzzing in your head. I am everywhere. I am the prayer that you thought you never said. When memories are bleak and you don't know what you see, I come again and round and round and round to make you feel right. Oh, yeah. I make you feel right. Yeah, yeah. Hello. What is it that you think that you achieve? Please forgive me, but your attitude, it really makes it hard for me to leave. Oh, hello. I am the fever that is pulsing in your veins. Can you feel me? I've been here before, and didn't you guess my name? When reason is asleep and satisfaction's what you see, I come again and
Alright, so we got the main part of it completed. I was actually able to shove another 2 hydrogen tanks in there, and then we have the 2 oxygen tanks on here. So it almost looks like it has a sleeper cab on it. So I like how the design came out. So now we just need to work on fenders and work on the back end. Of course, we got our smokestacks sitting up here. We might bring that up one more higher, depending on how we want the top to be done. But yeah, I think that came out pretty well. So let me just finish working on the fenders and the bumpers and everything, and then we might get this thing finished off.
I make you feel right.
Alright, it's morning time here. Sun's about to come up over the ridges over there. So our plants have actually been here ready. So we're going to show you the next thing you can do with the new update. So before you'd have to come in here and hit harvest to harvest the plants. But now you can just click on them. This is going to make farming a whole lot quicker and easier. So then they'll automatically put it in your inventory. You just need to make sure you don't have nothing in your hand while you're doing it. So that's the picking up the plants for that. But let's go down here and actually look at the truck. I have it all completed. So let me throw these in here real quick. So we're starting to get our plants up, and I've actually made a couple of other meal packs that we can. So now we have garden slaw. We have some chili. Like this one I made. Yeah, chili. And then we have some red pellets. So we got at least a little bit. These do 10%, where the meat only did 5%, and then the algae crisp did 5%. I thought the meat did more than that. Or fill value is 18%. Never mind. The kelp crisp did 8% fill value. These will do 22% fill value, so just a little bit more than what the cooked meat would do. But let's go ahead and come out here and look at the truck. So I got the truck all colored up. It matches the forge we have back here. You notice I did have to cut off the bottom of the hitch here. Our truck was just one block too tall, so this is going to make it so it should drive pretty well. I have the batteries and everything off on these back here. These wheels are on. They make a weird noise while they're on. I don't know why they're doing that. But this is the truck. I changed the pipes that come up right here. I think, oh, these are the new blocks that we just got with the updates. So now we have corner or curved edges. We have them in half block and full block options right here. Again, it is for large grid and small grid. So it adds a little bit more extra to it, I think. So the whole build doesn't look as rounded off. But I think the fenders came out pretty well also. And then I really like the front end. It gives a more futuristic vibes here. Especially with the colors and everything. So it is a little bright, but not. Again, it's supposed to match the actual forge back here. If we turn on our light, you notice that is a different color too. And then we have our regular hitch right here. So this is if we want to build a normal trailer that's not a fifth wheel. So we're gonna have that option with the truck too. And that's the wrong color. I'm gonna have to fix that. We got the hydrogen tanks and everything in here. We got space for 2 people. And then we added a little flashy light up here. And then we put these covers here to cover up the ports that were up here. So I think it did come out pretty well. These smokestacks do work. So if we come up in here, the faster we go, the more the smoke will come up. So the more power we're using. We also have our lights coming up front. You turn the lights on, the spinning light works. We have rear lights. So I think it did come out pretty well. Let's go ahead and hook it up to the forge and see how everything drives together. This ramp is not perfect, but again, it was just there for now. Definitely going to get fixed and reamped once we get the mess hall up a little bit more. See, now we should be able to drive on the back. Again, the rotor heads here, they don't have any collision to them, so we don't have to worry about it hitting. Oh. Just have to get close. Come off of here. We'll hit our hitch button. Everything's attached. The lights still didn't turn on like they were supposed to. I have to figure out why that's not working. Alright, so now let's see if I got this set up right. Detach. There we go. Attach. Lights are on. Pull that up. So now we're attached to the trailer. We'll need to turn our hinges and rotor off on the back. And we're off. So we're on these blocks up here. That's why we're having a little bit of difficulty driving. But once we get down here on the voxels, it should drive a little bit better. Angle's off a little bit still. I think we need to fix the hitch. Because we're not getting the arc that we really need. There we go. Okay, we're able to turn it fine. All the wheels are on the ground. Don't have, like, it's not supposed to be the best maneuverable. Again, this trailer weighs a lot, so, but it seems to be doing pretty well. I think once I fix the hitch on the trailer, though, it might actually be able to roll a little bit better, because it's not rolling as good. Bring it back up here. We're going to need to bring more power to it. I think we got too much weight on the back still. But we are rolling, so that's good. Yeah, we still, because you can see the front tires are up off the ground. Again, that might be this hitch. Let's go ahead and fix that here real quick. We'll park it up here. So I think we're going to need to round off this. That means I got to fix the forge lettering too. Alright, and then let me fix these letters here real quick. Just have to move everything up one. Alright, now let's go ahead and hook this up to see if this runs a little bit better. Might have to fix that hinge. Nope, it connected. Alright, let's go ahead and try this now. See if it should be able to roll a little bit more since we don't have it flat to the bottom of the truck. All the wheels seem to be staying on the ground a little bit better. Don't seem like the front wheels are sticking up as high as they were before. Let's go ahead and drive it up here. So this up here is towards the where we're going to start building our industrial zone. So as you can see, the base back that way, or the mess hall back that way. See, from here we can see over to the other cockpit, but we got a nice enclosed area in here.
And that'll do it for episode 5. The new truck cab is rolling, the forge is pulling great, and we're on the way toward the industrial build site. We'll pick things up right here next time as we start on the refinery. Until then, might be a good time for you to grab some dinner.